What's up? Hey, soul singer. Hey there. How are ya? Are you new with us? I'm so excited to have you. Hey guys, so great to see you, Ward Wilson. Lovely, lovely having you. Good evening, family. Well, Phil is out of town, but he landed about 20 minutes ago. So he's going to be joining us just a little late, but he's going to be there. I have faith that the traffic will get him to the hotel on time so he can be here with us. And even if he's not, I've got a great guest, and I've got you, and you've got me, and it's Thursday on The Vision is Possible. So I hope you guys have had a great week. I'm so glad to see all of you here. I've had a really good week. Let me tell you what I did. I actually should have, oh shoot, I should have included the picture. I didn't think about it till now. But I went to Pittsburgh this past weekend. And if any of you have been to Pittsburgh, it is beautiful. I had no idea how beautiful the city is. Thanks, Ward Wilson. Had no idea how beautiful it was. It's quite woodsy. It's not like LA. There is a downtown area, but lots of trees. It's lush, lots of bridges. I stayed in an Airbnb. Hey, David Peterson from Malaysia. I stayed in an Airbnb right there on the Allegheny River, and it was glorious, you guys, just glorious. Matter of fact, I posted a few pictures, and I went there for a 90-year-old birthday party of my girlfriend's mom. It was a 1920s event, and we all came in our 1920s outfits, and the men looked fabulous, and the women looked beautiful, and they had great food. And my girlfriend's mom had 5 children, and those children had children, and those children had children. And what was so fantastic was to first have a picture of her, and then have a picture of her children, and then have a picture of the grandchildren, and then have a picture of the great grandchildren, and to see the little babies, 4 and 5 and 8 and 9, run up to their great grandma or grandmother and sit on her lap. The love that this woman created in her family, and her ex-husband too, who has passed on. Be well, be in peace. The love that she created was magnificent. There were almost 200 people there from all walks of life, all ethnicities, all cultures. And we were boogieing and dancing on the dance floor and eating. And I wrote a poem. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm also a poet. And so everyone who knows that I do this, what they'll do is they'll ask me, will you write a poem? A personal poem. And what I'll do is I'll send 10 questions out to 10 people who are family and friends of that particular person. And then I extract the answers and I create these poems that I'm I'm going to tell you, I'm even so amazed at how these poems come out. And it's so exciting for those who have sent me the information to hear their descriptions of their loved ones. It's so exciting for the loved one to hear what people think of them. And then for friends just to go, oh, that's her, that's him, that's that person. And so there's no one else who's going to have the same poem. They aren't the same color, the same scent, the same kind of dance, the same music, all of these questions that I ask. And now what I'm doing, because you know I've grown with it, and all these years I've been doing this, is I add music to the poem. And then what I do is I send back to the people who participated and to the person who I did the poem for. I send back to them a list of what everyone has said. So whatever Johnny said, whatever Mary said, and then I categorize them all, what colors, so they're all in categories. And then I send the poem, and then I send a recording of me doing the poem. And I love it. And it's so thrilling to me that other people love it. And you know, K9, I do. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a. I've already done a book of sensuous poems that one day I'll release to you guys. It's a small book that's pretty cool. And I've been thinking about this, gathering all of my poems together that are about these people who you may not know, but just to experience who they are and in their lives. So that's what I did this weekend, which was really, really fun. Hey there, Annette. So glad to have you with us, and Coach to have you here too. So that was my weekend after I was on Papa's House, which is the new Wayans Brothers comedy that's going to come out. You guys are, it is hilarious. It is so funny. So I cannot wait for you to see it, and I'm just excited to have you all here. And I just want to tell you now that I want to bring in and tell you about our guest. Our guest, Chris Barrett. What you say, Patricia Pink? Creativity and using your imagination is fun. You aren't kidding, baby doll. Chris Barrett is a 35-year veteran in the entertainment business. What's happening in Jamaica, Sue? He has gone from theater to television production to digital media to film. He has worked with so many people. And if you saw the video that I created for Chris, he's worked with Tom Selleck. He's Phil Morris. You know that guy, Phil Morris? Oh, yeah. He's Phil Morris's manager. He's worked with Carol O'Connor. He's worked with Sugar Ray Leonard. He's worked with so many people. And he's got such incredible insight as to what was going on in the business way back in the day, and also what's going on in the business now. And to hear Chris speak about it, I love his insight. And so I'm going to bring the wonderful Christopher Barrett on for us. Chris, let me see if I can get some music for you. Hey, there he is. All right. Oh, yeah. Woo! Oh, Chris, I'm so glad to have you with us. How are you, baby?
I am fine, Iona. I'm just fine. Happy to be here with you.
Fabulous, fabulous. Oh, another thing I want to tell you guys about Chris Barrett. Chris Barrett has been a proponent, a battery for us, a pusher for us. Chris, I didn't even call Chris about the show. Phil and I were doing the show for, I don't know, a couple of months. And then I get this call from Chris. And Chris was my agent, like way back in the day. So I get this
Right.
call from Chris. I was like, yeah, Chris, what's up? He goes, so listen, I've been watching the show and I think you guys got something. So I want to give him his flowers and his props. That part of the reason why and how Phil and I have expanded till now, and you know we're going to keep growing, is because of Christopher Barrett. So,
Oh, you're sweet
Chris.
to say. You're so sweet to say that.
Oh, I'm so honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to be here with you, and what you're doing is just perfect. It's so great.
And why is that, Chris? Because we've been talking about it. Why is that?
Well, the ability to communicate without asking for permission,
Mm.
without saying may I, to be in control of your own communication, it's ideal. It's absolutely ideal. And what you're doing is doing that. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. And you mentioned, because we've talked about that during this time, this is like a perfect time to start doing your own thing, right? To start putting it out there, yourself of who you are. And go ahead, Chris, you can explain it even better than me.
Well, this is an amazing time. And I started working in this show business, media business, when I was 7 years old in New York City.
What were you doing?
And well, I was an actor. I was an actor in television before I knew what television was. I was I, I went into I was put on a television show when I was 7 years old called the Juvenile Jury, and I went into work every week and I did the juvenile jury.
Wow. Wow. For 7 years old, were your parents in the industry as well? Is that how?
No, it was all kind of an accident of fate. It was New York City was testing everybody for IQ testing. And I guess if you scored, they took you out of your school and they put you in these specialized schools. And then one day I'm in this specialized school, and I was called down to the principal's um, office, and my mother's there. Like, oh no, what now? What did I do? And there are these guys there, and there's some woman there, and they're having a conversation with her about me being in a television show. And I didn't know what they were talking about. We didn't own a TV at this time.
Oh, wow.
This is at the earliest stages of television. And the next thing I knew, I was on a television show, and I was going to work in a car that picked me up and took me into Manhattan where I did this show.
Fabulous. Where what so then where did it go from there?
Well, I did that for a long time. Then I did another show as well. And then I realized sometime during that this was something I ought to do. So I got pretty serious about it. And I did a bunch of Broadway, off Broadway, summer stock, with repertory, soap operas, movies, TV shows, all sorts of things. And then in my early 20s, I moved to California because my wife to be, Annie Shadeen, who you know,
Yeah, she's
she played
fabulous.
Kate Tanner on Alf. She was the mother on Alf. She got a contract to be at Universal Studios. And so I followed her out here. Then I worked out here for a bunch and did a series, The Bob Crane Show. Then after that, I did a Broadway show from out here. I did The Act with Liza Minnelli and Martin Scorsese. And then after that, I thought, geez, if this is the best that the industry has to offer, then I might as well think about stuff beyond just being an actor. So soon after that, I went to work for Michael Bloom as as an assistant, and 6 months later, I owned my own agency.
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
Wow.
It was a series of events that happened to me. Yes, yeah, yeah, and that became Metropolitan Talent Agency.
Which is a big, fabulous agency.
Yes, thank you. It was quite remarkable.
Yeah.
It was remarkable to me too. Believe me, I was amazed by its success, and it was great fun. And I did that for 34 years, and then I sold it to my employees several years ago,
Mm.
and here I am, Philip Morris's manager.
His claim to fame. Oh, that's
Yes,
wonderful. 34 years.
yes, 34 years,
Wow.
of which you were a client pretty early
Yeah,
on in it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Soul Singer says, you never know where life is going to take you. That's why you must trust the process. Did you have any idea that is where life is going to take you? Did you dream of this? Did you plan for
I didn't
this?
know, but I did understand early on that I didn't. It wasn't a good idea to rail against my life force. That I had to get one with my life force and allow the river of life to carry me, and it did, and it carried me and carried me and carried me till I said, right here.
What do you mean by that? The river of your life force.
Well, I believe that all of us have a raison d'etre, a reason we are here. And I think if we get one with that, get into that, and don't fight it, that our chances for being successful, not just commercially, but in our life in general, and go with that life force, then we may well be content as we grow. And that became the case for me.
You know, Chris, when you say going with that, there are people who fight that, or they say, I don't know what my
Right. Yeah.
purpose is. I don't know where to go, or things aren't happening the way I expect them to. What do you mean by, I understand what you just said, but I wanted you further explain not fighting it. So if you want to go
Right.
left and life goes right, you're going right. Is that what you're saying? What do you?
Well, what I'm saying is that you have to become knowledgeable. You have to have an instinct so that you know the course you should be on. And if you fight against that course, if you fight against that river of life, um, it's like you'll drown. You won't be able to enjoy it. And if you go with it, it will carry you. And it does with me. It does with artists in general. And that doesn't mean you don't have the power to make your own decisions, but it's within that thing that I call the river of life. It's within that thing that you make those decisions and it carries you to where you're supposed to be. And I think that's true for actors and writers and dentists
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
nurses and doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, many of us who look back on our lives understand that we're doing what we were supposed to be doing. And if you fight against it, you wind up not being content. You wind up not achieving what you might otherwise achieve. So I think it's important for me and over the years for my clients to acknowledge where we're being taken.
Hmm. That's so interesting because I feel like that's what Phil and I are doing with this show.
I think that's the case with both of you.
Yeah, we're just following the breadcrumbs. Where is it leading us? What else is there to do to move it forward? And uh, it was never anything that was an intention of ours. It just is something that happened. That's one night has turned into 2.5 years, and I feel like we're in a flow. And as we get more people, as my delicious and wonderful K9 is always reminding everyone to please bring people and to become a subscriber, it's growing. And it's surprising me, Chris, as I walk around and people who I haven't seen in a while say, hey, I've been watching your show, either what you've done on Instagram or what you've done here. And it's just that they're not commenting, but it doesn't mean that they're not watching the show. And I had an interesting thing happen myself last week. As I told everyone, I think I told you too, that I got a coaching job on Papa's House, which is the Wayans brothers' new show. And I've been telling every time I have a general as a director, I say I love fantasy, action, adventure, police procedurals, drama, and comedy. And they're like, "Whoa!" I said, "Yes, I'm multifaceted. I'm really into that. That's what I want to direct." Well, I'm sitting on the set of Papa's House, and I'm watching. And first of all, this job came to me. It was not what I wanted to do. I wanted a directing job. I didn't want to get a coaching job at all. Didn't want to do that. But I took it because there isn't a lot going on right now in the industry as it's changing. We're going to get into that. It's
Yes.
finding what it is now,
That's
right?
the river of life you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So the
Yes,
river
yes.
was bringing me there. And I'm sitting there and I'm laughing at the scene they're doing. And all of a sudden I went, wait a minute. I'm having a great time at work. I'm on the Paramount lot where Dad shot Mission. I'm also, and there are many stages on the Paramount lot, but I'm in the same stage as where they shot Mission.
It's fabulous.
I am looking to direct, and I have this opportunity right here with these people to direct multicam, which is like theater. I direct theater. I
Right.
know the associate director. I know the DP. I know all of these people, and I'm going to fight this because I'm looking for something outside of this. When this is where the river of life, I like that, has brought me. I had a fantastic day and a fantastic week after that, and it's narrowed my own focus about what I want to do and where I know I'm supposed to go, as opposed to hustling around trying to figure out where is it that I want to go. Oh, maybe it's over there. It's right here. It's right here. And yes,
It's it's exactly the case. And the reason you're doing what you're doing is you're at one with what you should be doing.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
and you have the tools to do it.
exactly.
Hmm.
And I've always found that if I ever am looking outside of myself or frustrated, I find that it's because I'm not dealing with where I am in the moment.
That's interesting. I think there's some truth to that.
Hmm.
I I think part of growing up, at least in my case, and I think for artists as well, is understanding what you should be doing. I mean, I sometimes say to clients, would you like to be the manager who told Picasso you shouldn't be doing the blue period? Blue? Who wants blue? What's blue? Blue's not selling. But Picasso knew that he should be doing his blue period.
Mm.
He followed his life force, he followed his river. All of us. I, I think as long as we are coincidental with that which we're designed to do, we're usually successful. And I think it's very true for artists.
Yes, I would agree with you, Chris. I have found that I, uh-oh, you guys, I think Christmas has come early. Would you give me a brief moment here and let me see if I can make this happen for us? Um, just hold on for just a brief moment. A commercial from our sponsor. Shoot. Shit, how can I make things work? Wait, where is he? Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to. Let me go here. Let me see if I can find him. And
Yes, you're gonna do it. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
wait, I can't see you, the baby. I've got.
Gonna happen.
Where are you? We can't see
Let me see.
your
Microphone,
picture.
front camera. Front camera.
Front camera. He's coming, you
Go
guys.
back.
Uh-oh. Here's Philly.
Done. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, people.
Come on now.
I see me, but I cannot get you.
You can't get. Okay, I tell you what, baby.
Uh,
Why don't you go back out and
yeah.
ring us up
All right.
again? Or wait a minute. Let me try something else. Let me try something else. Hold on. Let me try something else. Let me see. If I come here, let me see. Oops. Hold on. All right, you guys. And then hopefully remember we were talking about. Now, why isn't this? Huh. Huh. I don't know why I'm not going to the camera. Hey, Phil, go out and come back in, Becky. Are you gone? Okay, Phil's left. All right, let's see what happens. That's why I couldn't get the camera going the second time. Let me pull this out. I'm getting an echo, you guys. I know you're not. So,
No,
thanks.
I hear the echo.
You hear the echo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. So, while we're waiting, let me just do this a little bit.
Uh-oh.
So,
It's
uh-oh.
dance music.
Oh, it's dance music. So we're gonna groove a little bit. I'm just waiting on Phil. He's gonna call back up. He's fixing his camera. Philly's in the house. He's coming. Uh-oh, Chris, you got rhythm. Uh-oh, he's coming. Let me see if I can make it work this time. Let's see. Phil joining. Let's answer this. Hey, baby. All right, let me see if I can get you here. All right, hold on. All right, now that's that. All right, so you're here. I've got you right here. So, great, you've got your camera. We did this once before, and then I was able to get your camera, but I wonder why. Let me go to another scene and see if I can get, okay. All right, I think this may be it. And,
Hey, Mr. Morris.
What's happening?
Hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm on my phone. I'm so sorry, everybody.
oh,
So
that's
unprofessional.
okay. You're here.
I am. I have no baggage, no luggage yet. They're supposed to be bringing it to me, so we'll see if they do that.
Hi, baby love. Everybody's
What's up,
like,
everybody? I'm
everybody's
trying
like,
to hold my camera.
Philly's in the house. Here's Phil.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you? Welcome to your own show.
It's been a trek. I was on the tarmac for half an hour, so I actually would have been on time, but couldn't get off the tarmac.
They wanted you to make an entrance, baby. That's all it was.
Oh, is that it? They're gonna make an entrance here because they're gonna bring me my luggage in a minute. So I have the door open so they can just come in.
Oh, great. Oh, great. And you're in Chicago, huh?
I am. I am. I'm in I think Rosemont, Illinois, actually, which is about 27 miles away from Chicago, doing an event called Fan Expo Chicago. So yeah, we're here.
Groovy,
We're
groovy.
here.
Phil, you came in at a perfect time. Patricia Pinkston, woohoo, woohoo. We're talking about, and I really love what Chris said, the river of life, following the river of life, following where life is guiding you, as opposed to staying frustrated or stuck or feeling like, where am I going, or fighting against what's really leading you into a place. And Chris brought that up because of his life, of his 34 years with Metropolitan Agency, and then starting at several years before that, and what has brought him here. And so I was just about to say something, and I don't remember what it was, but
Well,
I
that's exactly how Chris and I got together as client and manager. Actually, I was very frustrated with my career. I was very frustrated, and I was just not doing the things that I wanted it to do. And Chris and I had known each other over the years, and I wanted to talk to him. We had just seen each other at our friend Teo Penglis's house, who we've had on the show.
Mhm.
And so I knew Chris was steeped in the business and was a sharp guy. And he was not my representative, so I didn't feel like he had anything to lose by telling me the truth. And so I went over to his house one day, and I hit him with a bunch of frustration, and he listened, and he gave me some amazing advice and proactive, productive advice. And I took that advice, and here we are, he and I, many years later, as client and manager, doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Hmm.
Great. How many years have you guys been together, Phil? Sorry, guys.
How long have we
Oh,
been
I don't
together?
even know.
I don't know.
Oh, 10,
It's
10, maybe
And it's
maybe
been a
10,
something like that.
wonderful
probably more than
relationship.
10,
More than 10, yeah.
I
Um,
think.
but yeah, this is it.
We
He's
got
my
pretty
guy.
close
I
when he did the new Mission Impossible. That was a show I was involved in putting together, and I became really focused on him at that time.
Mm. I
So, but I didn't work with him then. I just was very aware of him then. Also, one time we were at dinner at Teo's house, and after dinner, Ann leans over and says to me, "You know, you need to work with him because you guys are on the same wavelength." That's Annie.
She was right. She was absolutely right. Who knew? It was just a beautiful accident, a wonderful accident, a happy accident, as they call it in Zen. And I literally, truly went to him just clearly as I needed advice, I needed help, I needed support in a way I was not getting it.
a little guidance in there.
Yeah, I think that that's a key. I think when you feel that you're at that place, you have to reach out beyond yourself, because if
Hmm.
you knew what you were doing and you knew how to handle it all, are you moving it, Iona? Because I'm trying to move my camera so it's
No,
okay.
once you settle it, then I'll move it. I was waiting for you to settle. You're perfect right
Um,
there.
and I think that what we all have to try to do is when we reach those places that we're very frustrated and we just don't know where to turn, confide in the people who love you, confide in the people around you who know a little bit more than you do, who have a little bit more going on in that area than you do, and hopefully you'll find some answers and some comfort and peace. And that's exactly what I did.
Hmm. I think that's so true, Phil. It's so often we're like, I don't know what to do. Well, ask, and you'll. I always find it surprising when you do reach out to people and there's that vulnerable part of yourself. You never know where it's going to take you. You
Right.
just came to Chris for some advice to see what he where he was at, and then now he's your manager. That wasn't the plan, but you opened up a
No, no,
doorway,
no.
and I think that that's great. You don't know what may happen. That's how I actually got my first assistant directing job. I started speaking to Sheldon Epps about directing, and then we started talking. And I just happened to say, "Well, could I assist you on your next gig for free?" And he was like, "Yes," because we talked and we resonated in that moment. But if I just come to him and say, "Can I?" he probably would have said, "No, I hire you as an actress. I don't know that that's what you want to do." But talking to him and opening up that doorway and that dialogue added a different resonance to our relationship that we didn't have, which is so
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. Instead of being stuck feeling like we have to have all the answers.
Well, the thing also with Philip was that he was searching for the answers to allow him to free himself. So it was his search. He was looking for the right way to go. And I think that's part of the journey of an artist. And it was organic to who he was at that moment in time. And is even as we talk now today, searching for that right way to go and experiencing that growth. Don't you think, Philip?
Oh, absolutely right. Absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of person I am overall. And I think that in this case, it worked brilliantly. I really didn't know. And I think for people, that's scary not to know. But I think that that void allows you to discover something new and something more exciting and something more productive and more fulfilling than what was there previously. Especially if you're actually honestly asking the questions and you're not bullshitting yourself. You're not trying to figure out a way around stuff, but you're figuring out a way through stuff. And that's what I really needed. I needed a way through this, and Chris was very good about assisting me with that, and has been since we did that. So that's why we're together. That's why we've done well together, and why we will continue to do well together. I feel.
It's been a wonderful journey.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely excellent journey. It's a privilege. It really is a privilege to be helpful to an artist to achieve their goals.
And you've
Thank
done
you.
that for
Yeah.
many, many people,
Many,
Chris. Oh
many
my
people.
gosh.
Yes, a lot of people.
Over these 34 years, so many incredibly successful, wonderful
Yeah.
people. What, Chris, we talk about this business a lot and what's going on right now in the business. What are you noticing the changes that are
Well,
going
this
on?
is this is the most remarkable time in all the years I've been in show business. It's right now. It's when we all started out, there were three networks, and then there were four, and then there was cable. Well, now we're in a position where we're back to almost four: Disney, Netflix, Apple, and Amazon. They're the primary streaming channels now. We're also at a point where Paramount has just closed down their television division.
Mm.
Paramount also lost $6 billion last quarter. Warner Brothers is up for sale. They've lost $9 billion. So with all these changes, it's easy to get depressed. But there's another way to look at it. The way I look at it is we're now seeing enormous opportunities. We have the opportunities with the technology that's available to us and the lack of content that those companies won't be providing. We as artists can fulfill those things. And we can fulfill that content by making it happen right here on our computers. We don't have to be in New York or LA to make it happen. We can make it happen wherever we live. And we can build our own audiences with the technology that's available to us. And it's extremely exciting to be in a position where you don't have to say to someone, may I audition? May I read your script? Would you
Mm.
send me on an appointment? You can say, no, I'm my own may I. I'm now going to make the decision. I want to do a show called The Vision is Possible. I want to do it with Philip. I don't have to go to anybody's manager and say, do I have the right? I don't have to go see a casting person or a talent agent. I just do it. And now you can
Hello.
communicate as an artist to your
Hmm.
audience. And you can make that audience bigger and bigger
Please,
with
can
the
you?
technology that's available. So I think it's a time that's never been more filled with opportunity.
I totally agree with Chris. I think what I did was try to figure out. I'm so sorry, people. I am all over the place here,
That's
but
okay. I am too. I'm sorry, baby. Usually, you guys, just so you know, I get the guys together early, and I can put their cameras into the scenes that I've created. So if we lose Phil for a moment, I'm just looking for a camera for that scene. Go ahead, babe.
yeah, and back to my point is, Chris. That's exactly what Chris told me low those many years ago. Was that Phil? If I was an actor right now, I was in the business. There would be the Chris Barrett channel, and
Yeah,
you remember that, Chris?
I do.
And so
Yes,
what I did, you remember, Chris? I did those interstitials with Jackie.
I do.
I
For Funny or
created a bunch
Die.
of these little commercials with Jackie called
Yeah.
Jackie Knows All. And we went to Funny or Die, and we actually ran all the material through Seinfeld and Castle Rock, and they approved all of it. Didn't change one word. My buddy Whit Hertford and I, Whit Hertford is an amazing actor, classic actor, and he and I wrote these interstitials together. We did them over at Funny or Die when Funny or Die had just started.
Oh yeah.
They had killed. They were fabulous. I went to the manager I had at that time, who came to the set, and he was like, "Oh my God, Bill, you did all this stuff. It's crazy. This is amazing." And then we did them. Everybody at the office saw them, and I won't say who this office is because the upshot was this guy said, "I don't know what to do with them. I don't know. Well, good job, but I don't know." And I was like, "Really, bro? Really?" And I let them go. And Chris and I started literally probably the next week.
Mm.
And then we sold them to Funny or Die.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. And I think that's the key here is like, no matter what you do, we're in the entertainment industry, so we talk about entertainment. But wherever you are in your journey, if you run into a wall, look at that as an opportunity,
Mm-hmm. Come on,
not
Phil.
as an impediment. And when you do that, you will find not only answers probably within yourself, but you will find allies. And Chris always is talking about finding that champion who can help you get to the place that you can't get to by yourself. And there's a lot of those places. So we just can't do this alone. We need assistance. We need champions. We need Chris Barrett's of the world, Iona Morris's, Jackson's of the world to help pull us up. Can't do it by yourself.
And change.
No.
You were open to change. You took a risk of moving
Yes.
away from that person who
Yes.
was helping you put food on the table, helping get you
Yeah.
jobs.
And I
You
loved him. I loved this guy. I thought he was
Mhm.
awesome.
And
It's
had
just was
nothing to
time to
do
move
had
on.
nothing to do with that. They weren't feeding your creative life.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing too, you guys. We get stuck with this. Loyalty is a wonderful thing, but we can take loyalty too far so that it's a hindrance on us. The person you're always loyal to is yourself and your art and how you treat people.
Mhm.
And
Well, in a business that's in constant change, to refuse to adjust for the change is
mm,
it doesn't make sense. And he wanted to adjust. He wanted to engage with the things that were going on in the industry. So it was a natural. It was a natural. It was organic. It was accepting the river of life.
Yes, brother.
that's
And
right.
when I remember I did and I only jump in anytime, but I have so many things because you got my guy here. Um, I I was again at a frustrated point, right, with the career, and I'm a self starter, right? You're a self starter, Chris. You're a self starter. We can't be down for too long, right?
Mm-mm.
So I came up with this seminar, remember, called Phil Morris Gives You the Business.
Right. I remember.
And it was one of those things that I had to do because it was the universe was talking to me, saying, "Man, you got to get this out there." So I talked to one of my old school dudes, a guy who'd been in the game for a while, not as long as us, but a long time. And he was like, "Hey, Phil, I'm so glad you're doing this, because the business sucks. This self-tape thing is terrible. I can't take it. It's so inorganic and sterile and blah, 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 blah." And I listened to this guy. And I said, "Hey, listen, fill in the blank. Um, what if we started our careers today? What would we know? All we would know is self-tapes.
That's
All we
right.
would know is what's before us right now to do." So I know that we're old ass 8x10 dudes, but
Right.
we,
Yes.
you know, we got to get right. Now, it ain't going to change because you don't want it to change. And it's not going to go backwards because you want it to go
No.
backwards. You
No.
got to fall in step. And
that helped me. I think I was really talking to myself as well, and that was very strong. It's true. What
And
would
that
we
is
know? We'd
so
know to
true.
do the thing in front of us right now.
And not be afraid of change. It's not easy to change, but once you get on the path and allow yourself to learn it and stop fighting whatever that it is, it you'll make it work. I feel that way on this whole platform that we're on now, that I'm pushing these buttons and making all. I never thought I would be doing this. And when it first came to me, I remember telling Phil and Chris, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Give me a minute. And a minute turned into an hour, turned
Right.
into a month. And but once it's
Right.
there, it's so exciting to see yourself expand and not
I
Mm,
love
stay
the change.
stuck.
To me, the change is the best part of it all. The fact that it's always immutable, it's
mm.
that there's enormous variety, that everything can be different. I love that. I love waking up and not knowing what tomorrow may bring, because it could be extremely exciting. It's like Philip. I didn't wake up that day saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to work with Philip." Yet it's been this fabulous journey. So to me, being open to that is key to being an artist. And I suspect it may be key to everything else too.
And the only thing
Agreed.
constant is what? Change.
Change. And
That's
there are
the
things
only
that are
thing that's
going
not
on.
immutable.
Sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I'm agreeing. Yeah,
And the thing about it is, um, there are things going on beyond your conscious mind.
Come on, Phil.
That's where true faith comes in. Have faith that your sweat equity,
That's
what you have
right.
laid before, the groundwork, the framework, all of that is working for you. And then have faith that just because you don't know doesn't mean there isn't something there. And Chris and I have
yes,
had so many wonderful things show up out of what, where? I don't know, but they're beautiful, or there are opportunities that you didn't know about, and you take advantage of those things, and you're so much better for it. It gives me hope every single day. I might pick up my phone, and one of my agents, Tom or Lauren, might have something that's really, really special, or Chris might have something really, really special, and that's kind of a great gift to wake up to every single day.
totally. I totally agree with you. And I think being open to that and enjoying it. I mean,
Enjoying it.
to me, the pleasure of that is part of the gift one has as being an artist, being an actor, a writer, director. I think it's a, I think it's a gift. I think it also gives us time in between jobs. We have time, like I like to say, to set the table for success. I
Mm.
use the word abundance, abundanza, because rather than bemoaning our fate because we're in a hiatus, if we use that time to make ourselves right, make
Yes.
ourselves better, do more training, do more thinking, do what it is, whatever we need to do to set that table and enjoy our lives and our families and our friends, sets us up
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm,
success that's yet to be had.
mm,
So
mm.
agree. I never don't have anything to do.
I
If
never
there's
don't have any. That's a double negative, which means she
yes, it
always
is.
has something to do.
Always.
I get it. I get
Even
it.
if there's nothing on the agenda, it gives me a chance to read about something new, to look at to experience something of myself. And so many times there are people who are like, I'm twiddling my thumbs.
Right,
I don't know what to
right,
do. What am I?
right.
You do know what to do. All you have to do is Phil. I got this from LifeSpring. Phil and I we talk about LifeSpring. We did, and they'd say when you don't know, you guess, and usually you'll find the answer within that. Guess, okay, maybe it's this. Maybe I think I want to do X, Y, and Z today. I think I was on the subway one time, you guys, in New York City, and I heard these two women standing talking. It's about 6 o'clock. They were coming from work, and they were talking about how bored they were. They just left work. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I sat there and I thought, there's some kid down the street from you who would love for you to help them in math or help them in how to
Right.
set the table or help them with something. There's always something on our minds to do. In our jobs, we get stuck. No, you're not stuck. You haven't opened your mind to what you really want to do, and to leave it open for who may come into your sphere.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to be there. You have to persist. You can't give
Yes.
up.
Right.
And you have to keep yourself in the frame of mind. So when success presents itself to you, you're available for it.
Have a question. Go ahead. I have a question here, unless you want to go, baby.
Hold on. Yeah. If
Go.
you stay ready, you ain't got to get
You
ready.
get to get ready.
Yes,
So
exactly.
there's that. And I totally agree. I think now, and one of the people who, this is a long time ago, a long time ago, I was at a party, forget what it was, and we ran into our old friend Sidney Poitier,
Oh,
right?
city, city.
It was beautiful. So this is like, I'm literally 20 years ago. Where was I can't remember. It doesn't matter where it was. Anyway, I saw him. He saw me. A hug. It's great. You know, people. You have to understand. We've known these people our whole lives. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy, pretty amazing. And he was like, "Young man, I want to ask you a question." And I said, "Yes, Mr. Poitier. What are you doing with your career?" And I said, "Well, I am working on this, and I'm working on that, and I'm working on this." He goes, "You're not sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, are you?" And I said, "No, sir, I am not." He says, "Good, because young man, waiting for the phone to ring is a career killer."
Yes. That's
From
the
Sidney
truth.
Poitier.
That's the
Yeah,
truth.
Hey,
yeah,
news break, news break. Paramount cancels entire TV studios division.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
2,000 people lost their job.
Oh my
2,000.
goodness.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about this. Do you think that that's because of what happened with the
Wow.
strike? Because
It's all of it.
all of it, because all of us thought, oh my gosh, that,
It's the losses of Paramount's had between their networks and their streaming service and the strikes. You know,
yeah,
there's a great disequilibrium right now in show business where the executives and the owners of the companies and CEOs are paying themselves so much money
it's
that they're
ridiculous.
out of whack with those people who provide the content.
Yes.
So when you have to have these many strikes, like right now, there's the animation strike.
Mm-hmm.
When you have these many strikes, it shows you how out of equilibrium things are. And without the artists creating, the studios are meaningless. But
Where's,
it does create something. It says to you, gee, do I have to rely on Paramount for me to make a living? Or can I create? Can I distribute it? Can I put my message out to people and potentially make money and even change the world with it? And the answer is yes. It creates opportunity for us to make content because they're not. Also, they're making sort of content that's kind of all similar, all cartoonish, all superheroes. But there are a lot of people in the worldwide audience that want more than that.
mm-hmm.
And if they're not going to give them to them, and they're not, we can.
That's right. That's right. And the streaming services allow a lot of us, a lot of new stories coming in, a lot of European and African stories and television I've been watching. That series that have been fantastic, that I know I wouldn't have seen if we weren't. Oh, I'm still like, wow, Paramount. I'm working on Paramount's lot. I wonder how much the show is
Well,
connected.
they'll sell studio space.
Mm-hmm.
They have sound stages they need to rent out.
Right,
So they're going to
right.
find other end users that will use those sound stages. It's just they're out of the TV game.
Well,
In
Paramount isn't Paramount anymore. Skydance, David Ellison bought it. Larry Ellison's son,
hmm
Skydance bought Paramount. They now own Paramount. The old Paramount that we've known for decades is no more. And this
Wow.
new Paramount is making these changes. And the shows that were made by Paramount Television are going to be made by CBS Television, their studio.
Mm,
So they're doing it to cut costs. When what they really need to do is stop paying CEOs $75 million.
that's right.
Right.
That's
Right.
right. And they are not the same people who started the studios. These are a lot of tech people who have come in.
Well, they can't compete with it. That's why we're seeing the changes.
Right.
Apple, Netflix, Disney, and Amazon all have such deep pockets that those companies can't compete in their current form. That's why they're selling. That's why Warner Brothers Discovery is trying to sell and has been selling parts of it. But
Mm,
I know this sounds like the world is coming to an end, but it's not. It's coming to a change.
Mm-hmm.
mm, mm,
And
mm.
where there is change,
It's
there's
opportunity.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity. And if you look back in history, when somebody said, let's make Nickelodeons, change.
Change,
Radio,
change.
Mm-hmm.
change.
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 TV,
Hmm.
change.
Hmm.
Cable, change.
Satellite change,
Right.
VHS change, DVD
Sound.
change.
Change.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
what
right now,
happened?
some of the content is some of the best
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
You have Black Mirror, you have The Bear, you have so many incredible shows. Netflix is doing four camera again with the Upshaws and shows like that. So,
Yeah. Four cameras
and
coming back.
your show, Iona, is your show a one camera or
Four
four camera?
camera.
The traditional four camera
Yes.
proscenium, live audience. It's not dead, people. People still
Mm-mm.
want it. Why? Because it's funny. This is
Mm-hmm.
funny. And
And
people want to laugh.
people need to
They
laugh and
want
they
good
need the
material.
joy right now.
Yes, yes, we need that right now. And Chris is right. It's not going to go. When times are hard, our business proliferates. Why? Because people need to laugh. They need to escape. They need to ease their mind and the
Right.
difficulties that they're having. This is the way that they do it. So our business is evergreen. And I
It's
will
such an
change. If the
exciting
business
time.
changes, I will change. Say again, my brother?
It's such an exciting time. There's change all around us. There's change artistically. There's change in the business world. There's change in the political world. It's filled with opportunities. Think about this for a second. If you wanted to make a television show years ago, you had to go to a network because millions of dollars had to be spent, and large audiences had to be reached through advertising. Today, you don't need that. You can make a television show. You can make 6 episodes today for $100,000 and reach hundreds of thousands of people and maybe even millions of people. So it creates this extraordinary opportunity that you give yourself permission to make content. And to your viewers, to the people out there in the audience, they can make content now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did
Chris,
YouTube kind of tell us that early on? Was YouTube set up
Yes,
for that? You know what I mean? It was the engine of change, right?
yes,
As we are on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
yes.
yes,
Yes. There is
yes.
there are a couple of questions, but one right here. Why aren't there more Tyler Perrys of the world creating their own film studio lots?
They're starting.
They're starting, yes.
John Ridley just started one. I think he's in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Um, 50
Tim Reed
Cent
had
started
one.
one, I think, in Atlanta. No, New Orleans. In New Orleans, I think 50 Cent is starting a company there. Michael Jai White is trying to start a company in his hometown, I think Rochester or someplace like that. But there's a lot of self starters that are happening, and so it's just taking time. This is new. Chris will tell you it's new. I mean, Tyler Perry has been doing this for some time, and so he's the big dog. But there are other people who are really trying to do that, create their own studios and create their own content and get places where creators and artists can have autonomy.
And he's made it so it's possible. He's inspired a lot of people watching what he has done. And during COVID and the strike, especially the strike, I think a lot of I know Phil and I talked about it. A lot of artists said, "Wait a minute, I'm sitting around waiting for them to tell me I have value, waiting for
Right,
them to give me a television show, waiting for
right,
them to." No, 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 no.
right.
I can create my own. I know that's how I started creating my one person shows many, many years ago. That's before any of this medium was around. And now we
Hmm.
can change to where we can reach eventually hundreds of thousands of people.
And they will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait for them to come to you and do nothing, nothing will come to you. But if you create and you keep creating and you keep persisting,
Mm-hmm.
they will come to you. And there's ample evidence of that.
Yes.
We've seen lots and lots of content now that's being made because people have sought out people who's making it. If you make it,
They
my
if you
God, it
build
sounds like
it,
Field of Dreams. Yeah, Field
they
of
will
Dreams.
come.
Yes, thank you, Kevin Costner. My hero, Kevin Costner.
Mine too. Mine too. Mine too.
Mhm.
One person says, I choose faith over doubt. Impossible says it all. I'm
I
possible
love
of
that.
doing anything. Put my heart, mind, and soul into. That is
Come
the
on,
truth.
soul
Absolutely.
That
singer.
is the
Let's go.
truth, honey.
And the criteria is different. Maybe it'd be great if you could become a huge star. Yeah, that would be great. But if you can make a living making content and support your family, and that's the level you reach, that's not a bad level.
Mm-mm.
That's a good level.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that level, if things beyond that can theoretically happen because people have seen your content, even better. So we can recalibrate what we define as success. And for me,
Exactly.
success doesn't have to be if I'm not Tom Cruise, I'm miserable, or if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not Philip Morris, I'm miserable. If I can be Chris Barrett and support my family and reach people en masse enough so that I can pay for my mortgage, that's a mitzvah.
Mm-hmm. It's so true, Chris. It's so true. I was uh years ago I was oh my god, so many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, 30, I was crying on the floor. Oh my God, I didn't have an audition. It was rare for me. I didn't have an audition for a couple of months and I'm crying. And I
Right.
just met
Oh,
this guy at a club who had a club. I'd seen a one woman show. And I said, I have a one woman show. I didn't. I lied. So the phone rings and he says, hello, Iona Morris. Yes, yes, this is so and so. Yes, so and so. Well, I've got an opening in next month and want to know if you want to come and do your one woman show. And I said, well, actually, I'm busy and I cannot do that, but thank you so much. Click. And the universe goes, excuse me, Diva, you're
right,
on the floor crying. I've sent you this
right.
opportunity. And,
Yeah.
hi, so and so. I'm busy next month, but the following month, I'm available. 2 months later, one woman show changed my life.
Hmm.
Following the river that comes to me, I set the
Right.
groundwork of all the seeds of what I want in my art. I'm asking for what I want. I want to be an artist. I want to work and not be told when I'm valuable, to not sit around and wait for the phone to ring.
Right.
It
Right.
comes, and now I create something for years. It turns into a careers going forth. And that's what we need to do, even if we're not in the entertainment business. What is it? Not everybody can be Tom Cruise, even if you're
No.
working toward Tom Cruise. But you may find, and I've said this before, you may find that you're a better costumer. You're a better
Right.
sound person. You're a
Right.
better producer. You're a better writer. You're a better. And if you go with the flow of life of where that is taking you, you'll find great fulfillment instead of fighting to be Tom Cruise.
Right. I
Right?
agree. I was an actor for 25 years, from 7 to 32. I opened my agency when I was 32 years old.
Hmm.
And
That's
I
young.
knew that I had to get in league with where I should be. And so, and look what happened. Here I
Yes.
am as your guest with you, Philip, and you, Ione. Here I am
So
because
Yes.
I
don't fight it.
allowed that change.
Yeah.
Huh?
Don't
Yes.
fight it. People, don't fight the funk,
No.
and it may not be what you anticipated it being. Chris and I had a meeting a few weeks ago at one of the concerns that we're talking about. And we definitely thought it was going to go a certain way, right, Chris? We definitely thought, oh man, this is going to happen, blah, 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 blah.
I
Well, it
was
didn't
already
happen.
spending the money.
It didn't happen, but something else is coming from it. And
Yes.
that is the faith that I talk about. What we thought was going to happen is not possible. But there are other possibilities, and we're going to follow those threads, and hopefully they'll
Right.
bring even greater yield to us. And that's where we have to be. We have to not close the door. You can't sit on the floor and start crying for too long. You got to grieving, because there's a grieving process, but not for too long.
Exactly.
No.
You know.
Because what really is your job? Is your job to grieve or is your job to find the yes?
Come
Is your
on.
job to find the champion who says, yes,
That's
yes,
right.
and that's what happened with that thing you're talking about. I won't tell the studio, but
Mhm.
the first thing didn't happen. We licked our wounds. We spent a few hours licking our wounds. I saw my house in Tuscany floating away. But then we got ourselves back up, got on the phone, and found ourselves being invited to come in and develop new stuff with the studio.
Excuse me, a very important word, invited. The call
Yes.
came to you inviting you because you took the initiative to come forth initially in the beginning with something.
Yes.
They didn't buy it, lick your wounds, but get right back up the next day. And then you were open to accept the invitation to come back for something greater.
Absolutely. Yeah.
and
Because we
and
put
Coach,
ourselves in a mind where we could do that. Not that we're on the floor crying, that we're ready for success.
Right.
and you're not just there for that moment. Like if you're an actor you're listening to this, that audition is not the only energy that exists for you in that room.
That's right.
Yes, you're there because of that audition, but how you comport yourself, how you represent yourself will help you even if you don't get that job. And I think that's what happened with us. We were so good in that room that even though the thing that we were trying to get together wasn't possible, they still want a piece of us. You know what I mean? They still want to work with you and have you in their orbit because they see the value of you, even if the value wasn't specifically for that particular incident or instance that you're there for. And that's happened to me a million times where I haven't gotten a job, but you do so well that they're like, man, we remembered you. We always wanted to work with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're coming
Right.
back around to you. So put your best foot forward no matter where you are. And if you don't get it, you just don't get it. And keep on keeping on, baby.
And
I just have
sometimes,
never seen. Go ahead.
go ahead. Go, well, sometimes we're looking to go like this, and then you've got to go sideways, or
Sometimes.
you've got to just step back a little bit, and it can be frustrating. I know I have been there, and I have felt that frustration. But there are jewels back on that rocky road. There's sometimes jewels over there when you step back for a moment and you take something you think, well, I really want to be over here. Well, I, if I hadn't stepped back, I wouldn't have jumped up to a higher place. And sometimes I think that's what we really need to do instead of just sitting there in a funk and not
Agreed.
moving forward.
Exactly. Well, it's using Philip's example that he brought up. If we were fighting the river of life, we'd be saying, fuck you. You said no to us. You don't make us happy. We're crying. We're going to go do business with somebody else. No, we're done with you. Or we're going to sit on the shore because we're so frustrated we don't even want to get wet. We didn't do that. We said, invited to take a meeting, want to work with Philip Morris? All right, now we're
Tuscany is back. The
talking.
house
Good,
is
good
floating
stuff.
back.
Let's go. When do you want to do that?
That's right. That's right. And you have a choice. We have a choice on how we want to behave. You know, don't let anybody else come in and go, well, you know what should have happened. This is what should have happened to you. Watch out for those people who get in the way of what is to come for you, who just want to keep you down and like the fact that you're complaining. No. Lick your wounds, cry a little bit, call up somebody who you know who can support you, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
I went to this
So
is
that's
real.
one of the reasons it's good to have a sister or a wife or an agent or a manager or a good friend where you can say, man, I'm pissed off, and get it out and then get on with it. We
That's
need
right.
help. It's what did Hillary say? It takes a village. Was it Hillary who said that?
Yeah. I don't know
One
who it
of
was,
them, she
but
got it
it's
from
true.
somebody else. She wasn't the originator,
Yeah.
but yes, it takes a
No, but
village.
it does. It does.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah, make sure you've got a good village to have. This is a real silly one. So, I go and I see a girlfriend of mine many, many years ago performing. She's a singer, Marva, the wonderful late, great Marva Hicks. And her drummer is gorgeous. Wasn't my husband. He's gorgeous. I say to her, Marva, I really like him. So she set up a blind date for us. So we meet at a club. I walk in. He turns around. We look at each other and we both go, no, that's not it. Behind me, the door opens. Walks this guy. He says, hi, Bob. They say hi. Bob and I look at each other and we're like, yeah. Now
yeah.
just think. If I hadn't stepped out of my comfort zone to ask
Right.
Marva to please hook me up with this guy and to meet him at that particular moment, I never would have met this man who turned into a wonderful relationship for a little while. But it's just an example of so many things that can happen, you guys, if we don't stay in our funk.
I
If we
think
do,
it's
Keep it.
important to be willing to fail.
come,
You know,
oh,
fail.
come
The
on,
word
Chris.
fail to me, it has a bad definition because from failure leads adjustment, and
Right.
adjustment leads to success.
Yes.
So, if you go on a blind date and it's a fail, that guy's not for me, but it opens the door to someone there, you know,
You never know.
I
The
don't
Come on
same.
buy the
now.
word failure.
Mm-mm. Nor I the word rejection when you're auditioning. They just didn't
Yeah.
choose you. You
That's
know,
right.
that's all. They chose someone else. That's it. If you keep looking at, at rejection as rejection, you won't get out of bed the next day.
Ooh, come on, because
So
rejection comes every day.
yeah, if you accept the hard, lean into the hard, not the
Mm,
failure, but
mm,
lean
Well,
into the hard.
getting out of our comfort zone is extremely important because we define ourselves as actors or writers or directors, but really we can define ourselves as content makers.
Mm.
yes.
And once we take on the hurdle of putting it together, raising the money, getting people together who can help you make it, and creating content like a one woman show, directing a one woman show,
The vision
or
is
doing a show
possible.
like this show, then from that bravery comes really good things, the
Mm.
things that make us happy.
Chris, here's a question from Coach Soul, one of our regulars from way back. Can you please speak of professionalism from artists like Ione and Phil? Because I do see some of their professionalism in their personal life. And I think past
Professionalism.
us.
Well, I think the difference between being successful and being an amateur in life, let alone career, is being professional. And professionals operate in a very specific way. They do the obvious, they do their homework, they keep their instrument ready. They keep their instrument ready. They don't get ready the day before the audition. That instrument is ready always. They're always making it better, one way or the other.
Mm.
And they're keeping their mind ready. And then when they put these things together, they can create product that's a cut above the that which an amateur does. Sometimes though amateurs can learn to be professionals and then they too can follow those rules of creation. But a professional who creates has a much greater sense of success than not. And professionalism requires persistence. You don't get better if you don't persist. Persistence gives you more training on in front of the camera, in front of the computer, wherever. It makes you better. It makes you
Mm.
stronger.
Mm.
It makes you more in tune with who you are. And when you can amplify who you are in the characters you play or in the things you direct or write, then you have reached a level of professionalism that puts you in the area where you can be very successful.
Hmm, that's
And I
wonderful.
think I think professionals, you need to learn to play well with others. You know, um, you need to assist the greater goal, the greater good, as opposed to just yours. Um, and I think when you're a true professional, you understand that because you have respect for, especially in our industry, for all the departments. You know, you have respect for
Yes.
everybody who shows up early in the morning and is there before you get there as an actor and is there way after you leave as an actor for sure. Who have to set everything up and break everything down. They have to pull the craft service together and put it all away every single day.
Hmm.
And you have to have respect for those people. They help this machine work as much as you do. So don't
Totally.
get it twisted. You know, don't have the hubris that it begins and ends with you, because it never
I
did, it never
totally
will,
agree.
and it doesn't.
Right.
I agree with you. It's also
Yes.
part of the pleasure when you go to the set and you meet new people and you get to interact with new people. It's
Hmm.
exciting.
Yes.
It's like the first day of school. It's
Right. Right. New
exciting.
friends,
New
Yep,
new
friends,
really
people to
cool.
play with.
new experiences,
Yeah, we've got
Hmm.
this
new
toy
people
to
to
play
learn
with.
from. I mean, when I was an actor working with I worked with Martin Scorsese for 2 years. Trust me, every day was a learning experience.
Oh, I bet, Chris. That's
Oh my
fantastic.
gosh.
And when you talk about
Well,
staying ready, I so feel that we also need to always, we're getting better. We never reach this plateau of, oh, I've worked out enough. I've done X, Y, and Z enough. I don't need to do any more. I feel like we're always improving. We're
I
always
agree.
getting better. We're always keeping the instrument oiled and in shape for the next thing because you don't know what's going to happen. And if you keep it going, then things come to you out of nowhere because you of what you put into the till, of what you put into the soil of your life so that you can keep that river flowing for new possibilities to come to you. You see how I did that there, Chris? Did
I
you
love
I
see
how you
that?
like
did that.
that.
Look
I
at
like it.
You like
you.
that, guys?
Very
You know
good.
what you're
But
doing. You know
your
what you're
poetry,
saying. Oh,
writing
goodness.
poetry, aids and abets. Writing poetry aids and abets your directing. It's all
Yes,
connected.
all of
It's
it.
all creative, and not doing one is bad for the other.
So true. So true.
Hmm.
Oh, and
So
I hope
Jeannie,
good.
that answered the question on professionalism.
Oh, you have, oh yeah, you locked it down, brother.
yeah.
I know Jeannie has a question. Iona, Chris, I know it's 9:11. The kitchen here closes at 10. I have not
Oh,
eaten.
we,
I
we
have
need to
flown
go.
in.
Phil, go
I,
ahead. You want to give yours first? You want to give your
I,
finals?
I will. You guys can continue and carry on because I think this is
Okay.
wonderful. But so here's what I will say. I'm holding my phone in my hand. I flew in from LA 45, 50 minutes ago. I I did everything I could to be here because it's important.
Hmm.
It's valuable. We need each other. We need
Yes.
to show up for each other and do everything we can to assist the effort of the team. And that's why I'm here. My teammates are here. My sister Iona has been my teammate since I was alive. Chris has been my teammate for many, many years. And I needed to be here for me and for you guys, but for them, and to show them the respect and the honor and love that I have for them. And that means a lot. And I think that we have to show up for people when we're tired, when we don't want to, when it's difficult, when it's challenging. And that's when we reap the greatest rewards in our relationships, in our lives, in our careers, in ourselves. Show up. Don't have excuses. Don't make excuses. Be better than you think you are. Every time I work out and I'm tired and I get to the last rep of whatever I'm doing, I say to myself, Philip, you are stronger than you think you are. And we all are. We all are stronger than we think we are. So
Absolutely.
put it into action, put it into the brain box, the soul box, the spirit box, the heart box, and make your life happen. That's what I got to
Beautiful.
say.
Beautiful.
I like it.
Go get some
I
food.
like
We
it.
love you. Thank you for showing
Thank
up,
you, Phil.
teammate.
Thank you, Phil.
I love you guys
See,
so much.
and we'll see you on Tuesday because next Tuesday, we're not leaving yet, you guys, so stay with us. Phil's just going, but next
Right.
Tuesday, it's our first Tuesday night. We love you, Phil.
Right
Make
on.
lots of money and lots of friends. Make people
Thanks,
happy.
guys. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye,
We love
Phil.
you.
Wise words.
Wise
Wise words.
words.
Yeah.
That's why we love that Philip Morris.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm so lucky that I get to work with Philip. Really. It's such a lucky part of my life to be involved with Philip.
he's a good man.
Yeah.
He's a good soul.
Good song. And smart. So smart.
Oh, he's smart. And hey, did you guys know this? Phil won the original, the weakest link. Remember the weakest link, you guys? The last one left as the smartest person. Phil won.
Wow. I believe it.
Phil won. He was just amazing. Chris, with us as you and I are about to, we're going to give our final words. But before we give our final words, I just want to bring up just a little bit of this. I didn't get from you any contact information, but what I did was I created this page. Chris Barrett, a 35-year veteran in the entertainment industry. Started his career as a performer, and I bring that up because he was in a whole other part before he ever moved over. And then I got this wrong. I said after 7 years as an agent or an assistant agent, he started his own agency. I was so wrong. In the same year, 6 months later, he started his own agency.
Yeah.
He's worked from theater and TV production to digital media and film, and also through all of that, you guys, working with all of these famous, fabulous people. He's not only a success, but he has a wonderful family, a beautiful wife and daughter. And Chris, as you can tell by his smile and what he shared with us, he's I am joy just about every friggin' day. And as you know, you can find Phil here at The Phil Morris on all of these platforms. You can find me here. I own a lot of gold. I so love that play on my name. And now the show, you can find the show with me because I am the working producer. Even though Chris and Phil are part of the production team, you can reach our show through me. You can reach us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and now you can reach us youtube.com/at what? The vision is possible. So I'm so excited to have Chris here with me, working with us and all of this. And Chris, I keep hitting that wrong button for that music to play. All right, here we go.
Makes me want to dance.
We're going to wiggle just a little bit. Chris, we always ask our wonderful guests to give us final words. And I know you know that because you are intricately involved with the show. And I just want to really tell you before we go what a fabulous guest I knew you would be. I'm just so grateful for you to be here. And what you got to share with us, my darling?
Well, if I had a message that I would leave, I would say persist. Don't let anybody take you from your path. Find your path, dwell on your path, and persist. Keep making content. Keep working on yourself. Keep persisting with your family. Don't let anybody tell you you're less than you are. If they tell you that, they're not for you. And if you persist, your chances for success in your career, in your family, in your life are enhanced. I'd say this. Remember, life is not a poker game. You can't get up from the table and say, I quit. It goes on. So keep on going.
Oh, I love that, Chris. My grandmother would follow that up with keep on keeping on.
I like that. Keep on keeping on.
I love that.
Yeah.
You guys, wow, I'm so busy over here pushing buttons and listening. And when you're stuck, because you're going to get stuck, we all get stuck, ask questions. What is it that you want to know more about? What is it that you need in this moment to expand who you are? You can't know all of the answers, but there are people out there who can give you answers. There are people out there who want to share with you. You may not know them yet, or you may know them, and you may create a different relationship with them when you open up and are vulnerable to ask questions about what you need to know so that you can feel better about you, so you can feel better about your choices, so you can look to make different choices, so that you can have different ideas. Ask. We cannot get through life without being in a space of, I don't know. I don't know is a powerful space. It's a void that's blank, that's just waiting to have something written upon it. We get that information from reading A girlfriend of mine calls it going to YouTube University, and we get it from each other. So don't be afraid to ask questions so that you never stop living. You never stop growing. You never stop thriving in your life. Continue doing that. Even when you're successful, there's always another carrot to go after. There's always something else to just up your game a little bit more. And I wish for you, for this week, for you to find in this week something that ups your game a little bit more. So before we go in closing, I just want to make sure to tell you, today is our last Thursday. Yes, this is our last Thursday. This coming Tuesday will be our first Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Delicious Tuesday, Tantalizing Tuesday, when the show will happen on YouTube, still at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We needed to move it for work because what Phil and I are doing a lot in comedies, and Thursdays and Fridays we're shooting, and we don't want to miss you guys. So please join us next Tuesday. We won't be here Thursday. You'll be there Tuesday. You guys going to be there Tuesday. Cold Soul, you're going to be there. 81 JB, David Peterson, you're going to be there. Jeannie, you're going to be there. Annette, you're going to be there. Hey. Soul singer, poet, K9, Jamaica Sue. All of you guys, I'm going through my list to make sure that I'm not Patricia Pink, Ward Wilson. I don't want to miss anybody. And bring a friend with you, you guys. Please tell people about the show. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm glad to have you here. And though Philly right now is not with us, I know that he would want me to say, as I always say, night-night, Philly. Night-night, Chris. Love you, Chris. Please give Annie my love. And good night, you guys. Have a fantastic freaking week. And I will see you